All right, all right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Your Money Matters, a financial empowerment show. I'm your host, Letha Thornton, and myself and CMP Radio have a desire to move the culture forward and not present some news that you can use when it comes to getting your finances together. We have taken a journey in 2023. I don't know if you set money goals, but in setting some money goals and equipping our people with the tools and strategies that they need to create wealth. So we have gotten into the money mindset. We've talked about taxes, life insurance, investments. We've talked about credit repair. We have talked about how to close the wealth gap, right? We ended that last week with the closing of Black History Month. This month is National Women's History Month. Tonight we do have a male on the show, but every week after will be women and their contributions and impact as it pertains to money and finance. I have a gentleman on this evening, Mr. Disclerk Morissette, and he and I connected probably about 2 years ago. He actually had me on his platform to discuss wealth building concepts and strategies. So when this opportunity was presented to me, he's one of the first people that I thought of when it came to having someone on the show. Because the network is very, very important, and the relationships and connections that you build with people are really, really special and important. And he is an illustration of that. If we build and we stretch out and we start to meet people and learn things. So tonight, he is going to be teaching us about cryptocurrency. So we called it a crypto convo. Mr. Just Clerk, are you there? And can you introduce yourself and just tell us about your personal story? I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Letha. I appreciate that warm introduction. Definitely. My name is Just Clerk Morissette. Many of my friends call me Just for short. I'm now in Orlando, Florida, with my family, and as you said, I started out in Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn in the house. My family, they were very entrepreneurial. My father very entrepreneurial. Started had to pretty much give that not having enough time to be around for his family. I have two other siblings, so you could imagine him being at work, others struggling to work to take care of three kids. So that he can just get a more stable to get a job, because most people, we talk about entrepreneurship, how much time it takes up. He had to make that sacrifice. And throughout my early years, my parents always took us to entrepreneurial events, community empowerment events, and that kind of got me interested into entrepreneurship, got me onboarded into it. After going to college, I got into financial services. And just to fast forward through this, so we have enough time to talk about, what we want to talk about. That's what really helped me connect with the community and really recognize that a lot of people in the community, especially in the inner city, don't have a lot of knowledge and resources when it comes to financial services, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, building wealth, and maintaining wealth. And throughout my years, I kept finding myself coming back to that track of helping educate the community, letting them know that we have to do better at educating ourselves and being more responsible financially. See it getting into crypto. I got into crypto by trying to learn to trade. So to trade in a forex market, I got introduced to it. A good friend of mine who is a programmer kept telling me, you really have to take a look at what's going on in crypto. And that's what really opened my eyes. And then again, once I learned about it, just trying to share it with the community. So that's where we met in the Facebook group, where just trying to help people understand different ways of making money, and that crypto is a pathway as well of making money.
That is phenomenal. You certainly can and share because we met in a generational wealth group that you run. Just tell
Mhm,
us a little bit about that.
mhm. Yeah,
Oh, what is going on?
basically yeah, if you could repeat the question, the audio kind of blinked out for a second.
I know, I saw that. Gotta love technology, right? No, I was just saying, that we met in a we met in a group that was, in a generational wealth group that you run. Just tell the audience a little bit about. I know
Mhm,
you mentioned some of your purpose, but what is your group designed to do?
mhm. Yeah, the generational wealth group is really designed to help introduce people to different investment opportunities. As we past few years, even pre-pandemic, people are looking for opportunities. People who are looking for the side hustles, or people who want to fire their boss. There's a lot of different things out there. Some of them are legit, some of them are viable, but some of them out there are just money grabs. So we're just trying to help the community to be an aggregator, really, of different opportunities. And then as we gravitated more towards crypto, it kind of became a bit more focused. And I've gotten messages from people. How come you only talk about crypto? You don't talk about real estate. You don't talk about stocks. And one of the things that I learned through my experience and journey in trading is that it's all assets, right? So when you learn about trading, you learn about analyzing these opportunities. Crypto is just an example. So you can learn how to analyze these opportunities, and it's really crypto to just get people's attention. So one of the things too, I don't know if you saw the recent message that I posted in the Facebook group, is that I'm transitioning it from Facebook onto its own platform, a web-based platform. One of the Facebook group, we kind of partnered together, and you can see the logo here. Cash to Crypto is the new platform that we've transitioned to help specifically bring world, the cash world, to the crypto world. We've taken a little bit more hand approach and not just sharing education, but actually helping onboard people into the crypto space.
Fantastic. So there's probably nobody better to take us on this journey for the next 52 minutes on how to make this move. And I know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of
Mhm,
unknowns when it comes to crypto. So it puts people in a
mhm,
position where they're afraid, they don't understand, but people want to do some things with their money. They want to have options. They want to know the best place to
mhm,
park their money. So I wanted to definitely have you on here. But talk to us a
mhm.
little bit. Just explain to us what exactly is cryptocurrency.
Yeah. And before we get started on cryptocurrency, we have to explain where crypto came from. So
Very good.
you can't have cryptocurrency without blockchain technology. Blockchain technology helped create cryptocurrency. It's a byproduct of it. So
Mhm.
blockchain technology is created of is basically a synchronization of different technologies that created blockchain, right? So the blockchain is a ledger. We all know ledgers. You can have just a physical ledger in a book, or you can use a spreadsheet, right? So a ledger, but then no one so if I use that ledger and I say I'm going to give you $5, and I document it on that ledger, right? When I make that entry, I can't change that entry. You
Right.
can't change that entry, right? So that's one of the first forms of the blockchain technology. Was the benefit of it is that you can't edit it. Once an entry is made, it's there for all time, right? And then one of the other, when they talk about blockchain technology, is it can be decentralized. So when they say decentralized, that's what it means, is that nobody owns it. So a government doesn't own it, a company doesn't own it, so they can't control it and manipulate it. But not
Okay.
all blockchain technologies are decentralized. But if we're talking about Bitcoin specifically, it was designed so that it doesn't have an owner. So the function and the use of it is that they use it for financial transactions, and that's where you get the term cryptocurrency, because you can use Bitcoin, just the code of Bitcoin, to follow transactions. We're just specifically following financial transactions and tying a monetary value to those transactions. So that's where we get the cryptocurrency.
So this is literally a different form of currency, like the American dollar or the rupees, I
Yeah,
think they're called. So this is just another form
yeah,
of money. Okay. All right. Very good. So you
yeah.
definitely
Also,
go
al-
ahead.
mhm. Yeah, I was just gonna say is that money is digital. The US dollar is digital, right? So if I have my money in my bank account and I send a Zelle transaction, that's a digital transaction. The thing about it is, with it, we also still again, what is that money backed by? The money, the US dollar is backed by gold. So it's really just based on, backed by our trust in the US government, in their ability to have certain value, which we see today, the value of gold. So again, people look at cryptocurrency and get confused. We're already dealing with digital money. It's already digital, the money that we're using. So it's just a way that who controls it and how you have access to it, which is different now with cryptocurrency.
Okay. All right. Very good. You mentioned Bitcoin. I know that there are several different kinds.
Mhm.
What are some of the most popular um, types of cryptocurrency?
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot. There's just before I was going over the list, there's a couple of websites that track different cryptocurrencies, and there's a little over 12,000 different cryptocurrencies. So the more popular ones that the average person may know of is Ethereum, Cardano, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Litecoin. These are some of the earlier ones that came out a little over 10 years ago. Bitcoin is 14 years old. So people know some of the older ones, but they're popping up every day.
Sure. So how are they created? Like what makes what how do you go about creating a different type of cryptocurrency, or is it specific to functions, or how does that work?
Yeah. The thing is, when Bitcoin was, don't know who created Bitcoin. That's one of the major mysteries about Bitcoin. If you look it up, it says someone named Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. They don't know if that's an individual or if that was a group of people who just decided to call themselves Satoshi Nakamoto, just so that they couldn't be targeted or whatever. So
Hmm.
when they created it, they made it open source, it so that other people can analyze it. And that was one of the benefits of it, so that they could see the benefit of it. When they shared the protocol Bitcoin, they said, hey, look at it. It's open and check it out and see what it does. Politicians, financial experts look at it, programmers said, this is amazing. So now you have other people saying, okay, it's great, but I can improve upon it, right? So that's where you got Ethereum. The founder of Ethereum looked at Bitcoin and said, Bitcoin is great, as a medium of transacting, but it's not really flexible. You can't do anything else at the time but use it for medium of transacting, medium of exchange. So he took the protocol and changed it, upgraded it, created Ethereum, and then now you see everybody else doing the same thing. I want to do this, I want to do that. So you have a medium of exchange, you have proof of identity, because the protocol can't be changed when once it's on, when a transaction is coded on the blockchain. Now you can connect it to people, you can connect it to products and services. So now it minimizes and eliminates a lot of fraudulent activity. So that's where you
I,
see the majority of the use cases is in identity and for chain of custody.
okay, I see. So anybody could create their own if it was beneficial and maybe an upgrade. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, the sadly just copy and paste of previous protocols and they just changed the name. That's why you have 12,000 of them. So it's really, again, people in the crypto space say your own research, they truly mean where it come from, right? What is it doing? Because you have a lot of these out there that don't have any value, and people are going and looking in them and putting money behind it when they're not doing anything but taking up space on your computer.
Okay. All right, I totally understand. So is it what would you say make has like it's cryptocurrency has like spread like wildfire. What would you say is the reason that people are so attracted
Mhm.
to it? What makes it so popular?
Yeah. When it first came out, it was a real novelty because one of the things, it was really hard to access crypto first came out. You didn't have these exchanges that we have now. You didn't have Robinhood. You didn't have PayPal that's using and onboarding Bitcoin. A lot of it was prepared. So you could imagine when the first when they were first sharing music, MP4 files, right? You didn't have the services that you have now in sharing music. So people had to go onto these platforms, and that's where you had all these viruses popping up because people were interacting with people they didn't know. It was very similar originally. So it was
Hmm.
really just a lot of geek with it, and there wasn't really any value because the more expensive to use than the actual token at the time. So once it became a little bit easier to access, and then people could actually transfer it to other people more easily, then it went down, and then the demand went up, and then now you see the price of Bitcoin going up. So for people who in the early days were able to get access and to mine for relatively cheap, right? People who held on to it were able to. You had those millionaires were created because of that. And then the same thing happened with Ethereum. People who got in on Ethereum early, and then the story goes. So the the attraction to crypto right now, and for the foreseeable future, is the low barrier to entry. You can get into crypto for if you look at investment opportunities that usually come around $1 million, dollars, right? The ballpark is somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 to get into some type of investment opportunity. So you looked at, you can $1 million and buy some crypto, and then depending on what it is, depending on the market cycle, a lot of different factors, you can make a 10x or 20x, even 100x. That really gets people, gets people excited. And there's a little bit of gambling psych and the lottery psychology in there as well. Some people say, hey, if it's under $1, I'm gonna get it, right? Who knows, right?
What's a 10x? What break that down? You were saying 10x.
So
What does
yeah,
that mean?
so if let's say you got a crypto that was at the time when it just launched, it was 10 cents for one token. And then let's say in a period of a year, it started to become popular and started to be exchanged and people were investing in it. And now the demand went high and now the supply is being basic supply and demand. More investing in it, the supply goes up. So instead of it being 10 cents, it's now $1. If you invested in it, you made a 10%, you 10x your investment, right? If you cashed out at that time, right? Of course, you don't realize the profit if you don't cash out. So that's the thing, is that you have seen some of these projects that have 10x, 100x, 1,000x, and that's really the double-edged sword, because many people don't have any knowledge and experience in vetting these projects. Very similar to stock investing, and when people talk about penny stocks, they don't have any experience, so they're just throwing darts at a wall.
Okay. All right. Very good. I we gotta hip the people to the terminology because I would want it to be like it would be for a beginner, someone that is new to it and really doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard you mention a term called mining. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so mining really is associated with Bitcoin because of the way that Bitcoin was created. Um, we don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto had other ways of designing how Bitcoin works, but basically, if in that example that I gave earlier, if I were to give you $5 and I said I wanted that transaction to be with Bitcoin, um, basically somebody would have to, on the other end, a miner would have to take that transaction and help that transaction go through. So the way that it works specifically with Bitcoin is when I initiate a transaction, it creates a crypto based problem that needs to be solved by a computer. It creates a puzzle. So you, as the miner, to solve that puzzle, when you you're now by fulfilling my transaction for me. So that is the mining of Bitcoin. So the pros and cons of that is that immutable transaction that gets placed on the blockchain, it's very energy intensive, because as more happen over time, the next puzzle that needs to be solved by a computer complex than the previous. So as more transactions get completed, the puzzles in the future get more complicated. You need more computing power to solve that puzzle to mine the next Bitcoin. So that's why Bitcoin isn't worth it, that it's eating up energy. But they're solving that now because of renewable energy. There's just an article that was released where they have Pennsylvania, a nuclear power plant will be mining Bitcoin. So you could think about how much energy they're going to have available to them, as opposed to somebody trying to connect their mining processor in their home using up energy from the regular power supply of a city.
Okay. This is all like fascinating to learn about and to understand some of how this works, right? It's
Hmm.
still a lot to be discussed and discovered.
Hmm.
Um, but is it
Hmm.
best to go with the ones that are already growing and or have proof of growth like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, or is it better to get in if I'm a brand new person? Is it better for me to get in on one of the up and coming ones? You know, they have a prediction like Ethereum, they were
Mhm.
saying that's the next big thing. Is it best to invest that way, or is it better to
Yeah,
get into the ones that are already established?
is very similar to building up in stocks. You want to be diversified, right? Because as you said, Bitcoin is well established. Um, because of that, there is a bit of barrier to entry, because if you want to own one Bitcoin, that's like saying you want to own one share in Berkshire Hathaway. With Berkshire is like $100,000 plus in one share, right? So um, the beauty of it is that you can own a fraction of Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin right now is somewhere around $22,000 for one token. So the average person doesn't have $22,000 lying around that they can just invest in Bitcoin. So
Sure.
the benefit of these different cryptocurrencies is that you have others that are more affordable. So it's just like the strategy that people use in investing stocks. They want to buy them by the multiples. You don't want to just buy one stock. You want to buy 10, buy 100 shares, depending on how much money you have. So the same thing with um, crypto tokens. Cardano right now is somewhere around 33 cents. So you can think, how much Cardano can you buy if you have $100, right? So Cardano is one of these projects that is, also been around for a few years, that people have a lot of hopes in, because Cardano is a project that does a lot of different things, that was developed by peer-to-peer research and has been vetted, and people know that they're built solid, right? So people are surprised that it's only 33 cents. They're expecting Cardano to be, there's all types of predictions, but it's not expected to stay under $1 very long. So you could think again, if it just goes to $1, you get it now, you more than, right? So again, depending on your thinking lottery ticket, you want to be thinking double, triple your investment, because that's what's conservative, and that's more realistic, right?
Okay. Okay. Very, very good to know. Because I think that's what scares people, is that they think they have to have a lot to get started. Same with stocks,
Hmm.
and things like that. They think they have to have a
Hmm.
lot to get started.
Hmm.
They don't know how it works and all of that. So it's very good to know those things. Um, so if I were to want to get started with purchasing a you say Cardano or any of the other ones, how do I go about getting started?
Hmm. Talking to people in the US, you would need to have a bank account, you would have a Robinhood account, a PayPal account, somewhere where you can take regular US dollars and then purchase cryptocurrency on an exchange. So Robinhood serves as an exchange, PayPal serves as an exchange. If you have a bank account with a bank, you can then crypto exchanges that you, depending on the state that you're. So you have Kraken is an exchange, crypto.com is a popular exchange, Binance.com is a popular exchange. Most people can create an account. They'll ask for some information. Before, many of them didn't ask for personal information, because that was the cool thing about the blockchain and crypto. It was anonymous, but because of government regulations, they said we need to know who is accessing your exchanges. So you have to give them your name, your address, provide some type of government ID, and also to connect your bank exchange, you would need to provide that information, again, to pretty much protect themselves, so that they can say that there's no fraudulent activity happening through their platform. So if you give your bank
Okay.
account to them,
Uh,
then you can deposit your dollars and then exchange it for crypto.
Understood. And that's good to know, because I know there
Mhm.
was like a big thing recently where someone had gotten someone took the money and ran type of thing, and it kind of scared people from wanting to purchase. So I'm glad that they are coming up with some regulations, so that they can know who's doing what and know who they have to lock up if you are a part of any fraudulent activity. So that's really, really good to know.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
it's not a, as you said, it's not as regulated. It's not government controlled and things like that. So,
Mhm.
it's a lot of gray areas, and I think people were concerned about
Yeah.
how that all works. So very, very good. Do you have to pay taxes on cryptocurrency?
Yes, you do. Especially if you, just like stocks, if you sell and make a profit. So there was there's a lot, again, it's still some gray areas in, because you can do different types of finance, different things with crypto. So you can just buy and hold. If I let again, Cardano goes to $1, right? I haven't realized that profit unless I sell it or if I exchange it for another token. So if I do a transaction solidifies that profit, I'll have to pay taxes on that.
Okay.
And don't do anything with it this year. Here I didn't realize any profit to pay taxes on it.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. And you said that it's stored digitally, so you can manage your whole account online.
Yeah, yeah, very similarly to your bank account. Again, right, this is it gets into another conversation of where do you store your crypto? Do you want to have it on an exchange? Like you were saying, a lot of the fraudulent activity or the malicious activity of people are losing their money because they had an exchange, right? So it's not only just companies get hacked all day long, right? We don't hear about the majority of them. But again, because cryptocurrency is such a hot thing and such a thing, if it happens, we're going to hear about it. And a lot of it can be prevented, similar to people, these phishing scams and emails and the phone calls and the texting of links and all of this stuff. If you don't know who the sender is, why are you clicking on the link, right?
Right.
So a lot of that same stuff happens in the crypto space, but then you don't have to have your money on the exchange or at crypto on the exchange. So that's where they talk about having your own personal wallet. What the personal wallet secures the the digital keys offline, so that anyone who is trying to access your account, if they don't have those keys, they can't do anything with your account. So that's why they always say, and you hear people say, not your, so that you can store your crypto yourself, so that you prevent from an exchange.
Okay. So now we know. Get the wallet so that you have more control and other people have less access. Very, very good. These are major, major keys.
Mhm.
And if you have your wallet, and say you pass away, this is a question that I was asked. If I have my money,
Mhm.
my cryptocurrency in a wallet, how can I do I just leave my information with someone that I want as a beneficiary, or how do people go about accessing my wallet if God forbid something happens?
Yeah, the easiest way be to access to your wallet in your will, or you would have it somewhere that can be accessed if you pass away, there are services now that are coming up to help people transfer their digital portfolios similarly to their traditional vehicles. So it's a little bit more steps, but it's becoming a little bit more accessible because crypto is becoming more mainstream. But just like if you had stocks, if you had, real estate, you would have to put that stuff in a will. Estate planning and trust and all of that stuff all come into play even with crypto.
Beautiful. Okay, very good. Um, if I need the money, say, I need to access this money,
Mhm.
or I'm gonna sell. How do I go about getting? Like, I see Bitcoin ATMs and things like that. Break that down. How you convert it to actual cash.
Yeah, yeah. It's again, it's very funny. I was doing a class yesterday about liquidity, and that's one of the things that we were talking about. Depending on the actual token that you're using, is very similar to like if you had gold, that you had actual like gold tokens, or if you put money into a fund that said that they held gold in reserve. If you have real estate, how easy is it to take that real estate and sell it and turn it into cash, right? So with crypto, many of it is really just a transaction. It's a buy and sell on the exchange that you connect it to. So if you have at the time, let's say your Bitcoin portfolio is worth $1,000. Hit the sell button, you just converted your Bitcoin into whatever currency you decide. So you can say, I want to convert it to US dollars. Same thing, you could say, I want to convert it to pesos, and then you can transfer it back into your bank account if you have it. That's where the Bitcoin ATMs come into play as well. So if you don't have a bank account, but you have a Bitcoin wallet, you can go to a crypto ATM and say, connect it with phone and do the transaction on the ATM, and the ATM will
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All good things to know. These, like I said, there's some people that write in and ask questions and things like that. I try to post it so that people can do that. So that's very good to know.
Mhm.
As far as trading, do you recommend someone to just come in and be like someone who buys cryptocurrency, or do you recommend that someone learn how to trade it?
I would recommend both. As I mentioned before, is that if you learn the skill of trading, is really, as I said, I got introduced by understanding and learning forex trading. So that
Mhm.
cryptocurrency type of foreign exchange. So when you understand that and you learn the resources and the tools, the charting that it takes, whether to buy or sell, that is going to give you knowledge that you can trade different asset classes. So it'll help you become a better investor in crypto, but it also help you become a better stock investor as well. Recommend it's knowledge that you can use. So I recommend learning how to trade if you can.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. So would you say that it's a good idea when it comes to diversification to have stocks and crypto, or do you know a lot of people who just solely put their money in crypto? Like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, it really is again on your comfort level, because as far as speculative investment concerned, crypto is right at the fringe of speculation. So my me personally, I would say both. But I know some people who they believe that the fiat world is on the extinction chopping block. So they believe that the dollar and other currencies, because of our monetary right now, because of the debt that the world is in right now, that regular money and some tied to it, stocks is really in danger. So they don't want any of their assets tied to it. So I know people who have pulled out of stocks and put all of their money into crypto. I wouldn't advocate that because I do think that the market is gonna we're in a recession, right? We're already in a recession. They don't want to say it, but we're in a recession. I think it's gonna be
Sure.
prolonged, but I think we're gonna survive. But I would say stocks and crypto with a more towards stocks because that's more stable.
Okay. I like that even though you're someone who certainly is involved in crypto, that you're willing to be transparent and honest with people that no, don't just sink your money. I think that
Mhm.
both is a good way to manage your assets. So I definitely um, appreciate that. So we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes, but if you could, I know we've talked about a lot of different things. What would you say, besides it being speculative, what might be a pro, what might be a con, and I guess if you will, crypto is good for you if because it's a lot, that's a lot of information that you've provided, and I know that you teach classes and things of
Mhm.
that nature, and putting it in layman's terms, crypto might be for you if what.
I would say crypto is for everybody. The question is how much crypto do you want to get involved in? Because again, it's not crypto technology. The technology is an evolution of what we're currently doing. So companies are using it, and what's being popular promoted right now is just a cryptocurrency aspect. Blockchain technology can be used to integrate into anything that is already computerized. So that itself is going to make everything we do online more efficient. Is going to make it more accessible to people. So an investment, I would say, learn just this is really the same things that they tell about people who are first time stock investors. What are you interested in? Because there's most likely some type of cryptocurrency that's tied to something that you're already interested in. If you're into sports, somebody created a crypto token around it, right? If you're into music, there's a cryptocurrency tied to music. If you're in a movie, tied to it. So learn and leverage what you're already interested in, because now you're going to be able to follow what does that project and that crypto do, who do they interact with, who do they have partnerships with. It'll make more sense to you than just picking one that somebody says, hey, this is a good one, but they're involved in an industry that you have no understanding of.
So you just helped a whole bunch of people, because I was not aware that you could get specific like that and match it to things that are a part of your level of
Yeah.
interest. So that is awesome, awesome, awesome to hear.
Hmm.
Um, Tell us how we can learn more, because we this is really like a crash course, where we've put some things in
Hmm.
terms that hopefully people can understand, but how can people learn more? I know you specialize in really educating people on how it all works. Tell us what you offer. How can we learn more from you?
Yeah. In the Cash to Crypto Society, we that's what we call ourselves, the Cash to Crypto Society. We help demystify a lot of the things, as you said, the rumors that people have, but also helping people understand what do these things mean, mining, staking, taking, NFTs, all of that stuff, the metaverse, but understanding basic dynamics of crypto, because it's finance, it's the language of money. If you're talking specifically about cryptocurrency, it's the language of money. So we do a lot of basic financial literacy, a lot of education about risk assessment, understanding a risk portfolio,
Mhm.
understanding debt. It plays into, you can't jump into this if you don't have your financial house in order, if you have realistic expectations of how the market moves. We do a lot of market cycle, understanding why is crypto be in March. There's theory behind that, right? So I can our website, my specific invite link as well with you. You want to share that on the recording of this in the comments or something. We're more
Mhm.
than happy. Is for the community. Our goal is to, as possible. We even have our own how-to videos. You've never created or know what MetaMask is. Some of these services that we use to enhance your security of your accounts online. We show people step by step how to sign up for these services. So it's really about helping people, because we can't wait until these platforms become more user friendly.
Mhm.
It's we're gonna miss if we wait for the technology to get simpler. We have to be involved today.
Okay. All right. Well, do me a favor. We will go back and put your link in the comments. But how can they access you directly?
Mhm.
Share your contact info with us.
Mhm. Definitely. One of the things too that I'd like to communicate to people who are watching this video is that when we talked about centralization and we talked about the regulations, specifically here in the US, we see regulators, they're working hand in hand with the financial industry.
Hmm.
They're partners, right? The financial industry pretty much has our political leaders in their back pocket. So Bitcoin specifically, because it's not controlled by any entity, is a threat to them. If we're using Bitcoin, that means we're not using the US dollar. So
Sure.
again, you have countries, you have a lot of people who are using Bitcoin because they don't have access to traditional finance. They aren't banks in their areas, right? So again, for us, how we've been discriminated against by financial institutions, all of that with Bitcoin, with DeFi applications. So that is a threat to their profitability. So again, for us to understand what crypto can do for us if we know how to use it properly is an opportunity to now take ourselves away from these services that aren't helping us, that aren't helping and creating and engaging with exchanges and platforms that don't know, that can't, that don't discriminate. So
Sure.
we have to partake in those exchanges and those opportunities, and we have to protect them because the regulations might limit our access to it just because of our ignorance.
Mm, okay. That was a big one. That was a good one. And you're absolutely correct. The show aims to provide knowledge, and we can't advance if we don't understand. So I love that you said that.
Mhm.
I was going to have you close us out with a charge, but you kind of just gave us one. So just share with us, is there an email? Is there, I know you have the Facebook group that you just created, but people probably want a part two and a part three, and they want maybe some teaching
It's
sessions,
pretty
the
much
things that
just
you.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, give us the contact information for you. How can people access you to learn more?
Basically, it's going to be through the link, because again, transitioning away from the Cash to Crypto platform that we have is really more robust and help us to eliminate that information, to have the more organized. For we have our training, we separate our training from our regular information, the articles. We're still sharing articles, we're still sharing videos, but everything is a little bit more organized. So I recommend for people to just go to the Cash to Crypto Society, with the link, my personal invite on there, and it is everyone's welcome. The information in there, the community is a relatively new platform, and it's great that we get a lot of engagement. And when we hop on our training sessions, we're family. We're family. We get on there, we talk, and people ask us questions. And it's really, the whole point again is to help people understand what this is. So we get on there and we open up the mic. Hey, tell us your experience. What are you having trouble with? What can we do to help you understand this a little bit better?
Okay. All right. Well, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. It's definitely refreshing to hear that this is an opportunity where you can really grow some wealth, and you can not just be someone that makes money in the as someone that purchases, but also as a trader. And I know that it's a big part of your mission when it comes to doing your part to create generational wealth, making sure that people are educated, and using this as a layer of building their financial house. So we will say farewell to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're going to be, this ain't the last time that you and I will be in contact. We stay in touch and things like that. So I know that this won't be the last time that we probably utilize you for some things. And to be honest, this is a conversation that probably will have to be had more than once. So I can't thank you enough for being a part of this journey with us. And I'll be talking with you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Again, thank you for the invitation. As you said, I look forward to our next opportunity, and I always look forward to sharing with the community. Thank you again.
No problem. And that wraps up this edition of Your Money Matters Financial Empowerment Show. Join us next week as we will be talking. We've talked about how to make the money, how to save the money, how to keep the money, but we need to know how to properly secure our estate. So we will have a attorney and an estate planner on to show you what's next. All right, I've set these things up. How do I make sure that everything is carried out to my liking or my level of satisfaction when it comes to creating and passing wealth? So I thank you all for listening and for watching. I hope you learned something. Cryptocurrency is something that certainly has a lot of people confused, and I hope that you take advantage. We will post the link in the comments. I hope that you take advantage of learning more, maybe sitting in on some classes and seeing how it might help you with your wealth building portfolio. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good evening.
CMPRadio.net, it's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate.